All right, guys, first things first. This is a little bit of the housekeeping, and it's boring, but we need to get it done. We need to create buses. Everything needs to have its own bus. All the instrument groups need to be in groups, and they need to have their own bus. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. If you have not done this in Pro Tools before, but you can do this in any software. All right? So this is the way that that most professionals work, multiple mix bus technique. There's lots of pros that teach it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the drum bus, all right? We're going to go stereo, right? Aux input, okay? We're going to call this drum bus, and then we're also going to create, let's see, VCA master. We're going to call this all drums. Oops. All right, I always put my drum bus this color. You can put whatever color you want, but I color code everything. My VCAs are always that color. We're gonna group it so that when I hit this button, all the drums start playing. Right now, it's not grouped. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna send all of these, not the reverb, the snare verb's the aux track that's already there, all of the drums to bus, let's see, 5 and 6. It's available. We're gonna go to bus 5 and 6 here on drum bus input and rename it to drum bus, and you'll see all the ones above it change to drum bus on the output. And then we are going to shouldn't have done that. We have to re-highlight all of these here. I should have kept those highlighted. That is my bad. We are going to highlight the reverb this time also. Actually, we won't, because we're going to be adding more reverbs later, and they don't need to be added. All right, they're already, at least in Pro Tools, it's locked to solo so that when I solo this, I can still hear the reverbs. So yeah, we're going to highlight all those tracks again, plus the drum bus that we just created, and now we're going to hit Command G. If you're in another program, it won't be Command G. We're going to call the group all drums, and we're going to go to VCA, and we're going to select all drums, and we're going to hit OK. And then when I hit solo, just the drums. The thing is, I always send my bass to the drum bus as well. So we're going to send the bass over to drum bus. All right, so now we have to modify our group because I decided to add another instrument. So we're going to come out in here to all drums, and we're going to go, let's see, we're going to go modify. We're going to come down and find our bass tracks, which there's 2 bass tracks. Hey, quick heads up before we keep going, guys. What you're watching right now is actually just a small piece of one of our full Midnight Academy courses inside Midnight Sound Studios. We go way deeper with full mix breakdowns. You get all of our stems, every move explained from top to bottom. And if you're someone who likes what you're hearing and you actually want your own music to sound this good, that's literally what we do every day here at Midnight Sound Studios. And we work with artists all over the world. We can even do remote live mixing so that you can sit in on the session from anywhere. So yeah, whether you're here in Alaska or across the ocean, you can book your mix, mastering, or full production session right now at midnightsoundstudios.com. Do not be afraid to drop us a line. Let's get back into it. Did I already pass it? There it is. Bass DI and bass amp committed. These are the ones. These are the originals right here. We want commit, right? Because you see it's .cm. So just make sure you're on the right files. You're going to add that to your group, and now when I hit solo, it won't be just the drums. See, there's the bass. And now I'm going to repeat this process with everything. There's going to be a perc bus and a perc group. There's going to be an acoustic guitar bus and an acoustic guitar group. A lot of times I'll just do guitar group, guitar bus instead of acoustic and electric, but because this song has a lot going on and there's a lot of tracks, it makes it easier for me to bus the acoustics and the electrics separately. So we're going to do that, and we're going to have a keys and strings bus. So all of these and the keys will go to one bus, and then all of those buses are going to end up going to our mix bus. All right, so we're going to create a stereo mix bus and call this mix bus. All right, we're going to put it onto our bus color. We're going to, so every track in the song is going to come to the mix bus. Including reverbs. You got to remember when you create reverbs to make sure those reverbs go to the mix bus. It wouldn't hurt, I suppose, to leave it on the output, but everything should be going to the mix bus in my opinion. Some stuff maybe I would take out of the mix bus, and I mean the mix bus ends up going to the master anyways. The limiter right now is on the master because this is we just got done tracking this song, and so there's a limiter on there just to have a limiter on there. But now that we're creating a mix bus, the limiter is going to come up to the mix bus, and there should be nothing on the master. That said, if for some reason the reverbs are getting too crushed or something, which like I said shouldn't be a problem, but you can always take something out of the mix bus and send it to the main output if you ever need to. But yeah, for now I'm going to send my reverbs to the mix bus, and let's see here. So we're going to create this, call it mix bus. So I'm just going to use, these ones aren't actually being used. These were somebody else's buses because we were collaborating with different musicians from around the world, and these were what they had going on. And I know I don't need these. We'll just use this for now. Doesn't really matter. We'll just call this, but I can override those later. Those aren't being used. We're going to call this mix bus. We're going to make it our bus color. All right. And now this whole package up here is going to go from right here, from the drum bus, the bass and the drums, to the mix bus. And see, the bass and drums right now are the only thing going to the mix bus because we haven't created groups for everything else and sent it to the mix bus. And so if I mute the mix bus, the bass and the drums disappear. Well, not the percussion. So yeah, but that's how you want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this process for every other group, right? Like I said, percussion all the way down. And then all of those are going to go into the mix bus. And then we're set up to start really mixing.